Fuji chocolate means self-determination. And I was going to write a short story, but I wasn't able to get it to my satisfaction. So instead, I'll be talking about what self-determination means and some instances that I've seen this play out in my own life. So I'll introduce myself. My name is Latrice.
Hey.
My pronouns are they, them. I'm from St. Paul, but right now I go to school in DC. And I just have some reflections on Fuji Chagalia and how it is alive. Fuji Chagalia is alive in my sister, who cut off strands of her hair that were permanently pressed straight. She wears her hair in an afro. Fuji Chagalia is alive in the story of Joanne Cheesemard, better known as Assata Shakur, who just recently passed away last year. Assata Shakur, she walked in the principle of self-determination as she was a freedom fighter for Black liberation, and she wrote very powerful things that encouraged young people to continue the tradition of Black resistance. Fuji Chagalia is alive at Howard University, which I am a student of. When the students shut down the university in 1968 in protest for the establishment of Afro-American studies. And I'm proud to say that I study Afro-American studies today because of their efforts toward Fuji Chagalia.
Right.
Fuji Chagalia is also alive in my sibling who drives around the state of Georgia in a land bus to promote Black farming initiatives. Because when we control ourselves, we control our future. Fuji Chagalia is alive in my brother, Brotha, who teaches yoga and does so much in our community. Fuji Chagalia is alive in the mother who feeds her neighbor's children fresh strawberries grown on her plot of land. Fuji Chagalia is alive in the story of Imam Jamil al-Amin, who also just recently transitioned, so I just want to say a prayer for him. Fuji Chagalia is alive in the legacy and in the memory of the Black Liberation Army and the Republic of New Africa. And so from this reflection, I don't think I really elaborated on what self-determination is. Self-determination means that a people have control over themselves and their destiny. You get to wake up tomorrow and say, okay, I want to be able to grow my own food. And you can do that. Uninterrupted, without anybody trying to stop you. Today, Black people, we don't have a whole lot of self-determination. Even historically, when we think back to, what did they talk about in Oklahoma, not Black Wall Street, but in Tulsa, Oklahoma. When Black people try to have businesses, sometimes they get destroyed. When Black people try to establish their own institutions, the federal government cuts funding, things like that. So self-determination is an uphill battle, but it is something that we need to win so that we can actually protect ourselves and be able to prosper as a people. So with that, I thank you all so much for listening. Continue to reflect and write on your post-it notes how you might want to embody this principle in your life. So thank you for listening.
Ujima is typically celebrated on the third day of Kwanzaa. It is a principle that plays a crucial role in the Kwanzaa festival. This term, Ujima, is derived from Swahili, our language is Swahili, and it translates to collective work and responsibility. This principle emphasizes the importance of a community and a collective effort, and how this manifests in my life and how it operates with me is in the following ways. First is through my family. And I think family is the first place where collective work and responsibility is practiced. Do I get an amen? Amen. Childhood gives us an opportunity to learn our first lessons and concerning community. There are several family spaces we've been in. We've been birthed, we've been blended, we've been adopted, we've been chosen, we've been married too. Building relationships come out of how we organize our homes, our financial responsibility, how we develop and teach healthy social skills and behaviors which support faith-based practices as well. And meaningful celebrations like this in the community. All that happens is in our first community, our family. The second way it manifests in my life is through, as I build my family, I help them build connections to others. How healthy we build these relationships, serve in, prepare for our chosen careers, how we build and operate out of our values, how we teach parenting, purpose, and how well we desire good for all people. Amen? Amen. How we practice good sportsmanship, learn the values and importance of all of our people, how inclusive we are, how we understand and practice supporting, what it means to engage in relationships. True, that we always understand no man or woman is an island, but every relationship is not romantic, right? What relationships do we have in this room? Siblings? We just heard Rob introduce his sister. Friends, come on. What relationships do we have?
Mother, son.
Come on.
The relationship with yourself.
Yes.
Neighbors.
Neighbors. Right.
And me and grandma.
Oh, grandson and grandma. All right. Siblings, parent, child, Sunday school. You said some of teachers, pastors. All of these are part of our collective work and how we build these relationships through the responsibility that we have for one another. The third way this principle manifests in my life is through how I serve my community. I'm on community boards, I'm in a sorority, I'm in a church congregation, my block club, profession. I go to activities with my grandson. Sometimes I slide on the hill, But in building these relationships, not only do we build connection, but we help build problem-solving skills. We build self-esteem and self-determination. Finally, Ujama means providing mutual aid where the well-being of each member is linked to the well-being of this community. In the work of Ujima, people are empowered through collaboration by working together. Communities can achieve goals that might be unattainable individually, fostering ways of sense of empowerment and accomplishment collectively. Aparagani? What was my word?
Ujima.
Thank you.
Amen.
Habarigani.
Ujama.
Habarigani.
Ujama.
Peace. My name is Brother Ashe. I'm from North Minneapolis. I would like to say first, I don't like the jolly out of all the storytell lives. To Ashe, the great Yahweh. The principle that I have is the fourth principle, Ujama. Does anybody know what Ujama means? Cooperative economics. Can we say cooperative economics?
Cooperative economics.
All right, so there are a lot of thoughts that come up. I was kind of trying to figure out how we would use the boards because I was originally going to write on it, but I hope that y'all can see up here because I kind of want to give y'all some things to take home on the thing. Okay. Okay. So when I think of Ujama, there's a symbol. There's different symbols that connect to each Kwanzaa principle. And the symbol that connects to Ujamaa is how I say it. Can I just say Ujamaa? Yeah. Flow a little bit better for me. It's a symbol called the Ijagam. Can y'all say Ijagam?
Ijagam.
The Ijagam symbol is a symbol of two half circles that interconnect with each other. And the reason that's important is because, well, first, the Ijagam comes from the Sabiti symbols. Can y'all say Sabiti?
Sabiti.
Sabiti, there's different symbols, and if y'all know about Dr. Malana Karenga, he went across Africa to a bunch of different countries, and each principle is connected to different values that are connected to different countries across Africa. And so the countries that are connected to Ujamaa are specifically Nigeria, and the people, the Ekoi people. And they have these symbols called Sabiti symbols. And this one represents togetherness and family. And so when we think of family, or when I usually think of family, I think of a circle, right? We come in, we do drum circles, the circle of life. Africans think of time as not linear but circular. But I think it's funny that he used two half circles. And the reason that I personally think he used half circles is because a lot of us have different lives that we live and different circles of people that we're connected to. And so he took two different half circles because it's when those different circles start to interconnect that we really start to understand what cooperative economics is.
Yes.
Right? And so Brother Ra asked me to speak. He's a young brother who's studying, and I'm a young brother who's studying. And so this is an example of cooperative economics right here. And I'm so glad that for Kwanzaa we have so many of our young people and elders in the room, because I think there's a fire coming up with the young folk. And we want to study, and we want to get our knowledge, and we want to make sure that we're doing it the right way. And so there's two different things that come to mind also when I think of cooperative economics, right? One of them is institutions, and one of them is infrastructure. And so when I think of Ujamaa, what I think when I say institutions and infrastructure, there's one thing that comes to mind about institution and infrastructure, and that is to build, and not only just to build, but to maintain. Okay? It's not just building infrastructures, it's maintaining those infrastructures. But the good thing about us in Minneapolis is we already have some of that work going. So one of those examples is the Black Youth Healing Arts Center as an institution, right? But there's also other institutions. There's also We Win Institute, right? There's also In Black Inc. There's also the Black Family Blueprint. There's also the Akefren Society. There's also the New African American School of Thought. And these are some institutions that I'm going to write on here that I hope you take a picture of, because these are different institutions that exist right now that we can start investing in to build and to maintain, okay? Because the goal is not just to build, but it's to maintain.
That's right.
Right?
Look, yes.
Actually, I'll write it later. Because I don't want to spend time writing because I want to keep going. But then those are institutions, but there's also infrastructure. And so what I do is I'm a teacher at We Win Institute. I've gotten to spend time with Brother Elias in class, but I also spend time with a lot of youth, and I teach drumming for the kids. Right? That's an infrastructure that we use to help our kids shape their minds so that when they go in the classroom, they've already worked on memorization. They're confident in skills that help them get confidence in the classroom. All right? And so another infrastructure that I was thinking of is some of the classes that they offer here at the Black Youth Healing. Do you have any examples of some of the classes?
Yeah, so sewing, Dr. D right here leads sewing next door on Sundays. So stop through, what time, 1 to...
Well, we're taking a pause for January, so we'll go
Okay.
back to the other classes, yoga.
Yoga, we got poetry, theater's going on in the other room. There's poetry that happens in here. Drumming on Wednesdays. Brother Orko leads cooking classes on Thursdays. Storytelling, yep, very holistic.
And so the institution,
In the summer.
so the institutions have these infrastructures attached to them so that they can help build our minds holistically, right? And so when we talk about building, we're maintaining at all these different spaces. But the overall goal of institution and infrastructure is to create an ecosystem. We try to create an ecosystem that it allows for our kids to thrive. For so many years, especially after COVID, I also work in the school system. I'm a student recruiter for a school. And what we're seeing is after 2020, a lot of the kids, what was normal back then in 2020 is now way back here. And so we're at a point where we got to make sure that we reading with our kids at home. We got a point where we got to make sure we putting our kids around people like Brother Rock, around people like Brother Orko, around people that care about our kids, so that we can get back to where we need to be, and so that we can eventually thrive. All right. Ujamaa cooperative economics. It can't just happen with just a few of us. It takes all of us doing our part. No part is too small.
That's right.
And I'm grateful to be able to share with y'all a little bit about Ujamaa, because there's so much. You could go deep into all of these principles. But Amari Ghani,
Ujamaa.
Ujamaa.
Yeah. That was thorough. That was thorough. Yeah. And apparently it goes deeper. He said there's more to say on that. I believe that. Yeah, that was good. That was good. He been celebrating Kwanzaa in his family, so it's already locked in, you know.
I learned a little bit about him during our fellowship.
Oh, nice. That's good. Yeah.
Definitely want to connect and tap in.
Promise you. Same. Bruh, this is so good. So good. Promise you. Good work.
I appreciate it, man.
Promise you. That was enlightening.
I didn't know with the space.
You did great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good to hear from someone who's
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I go.
Amen.
I go.
Amen.
Well, I'm Dr. D. My principal is Nia, which is purpose. Yeah, purpose. So purpose. Purpose is that thing where our gifts and talents and skills meet the world at a place that it needs. It meets the world, it meets our community, it meets our churches, it meets our environment at a point of need. So how do we get to purpose? How do we get to understanding our purpose? First, we must reflect and think about what are our own gifts and talents? What's our own skills? What are we passionate about? And that's when we will find a point where we will find purpose. I'm going to tell you for myself, that point came as I worked in the school district in Portland, Maine, at this point. That wasn't doing right by our kids. And it was saying it was, but it was not. And being in that district, and being aware of the meetings and things that were happening, and to see when those atrocities were happening, something in me said, this is not right. And that is the point where I knew that God was calling me to do something different, to find a different purpose. And that purpose led me to here, and working with young people, and working with young people who have been in foster care, to decide how can we help them do better in the world? How can adults do better by reaching people? And so that's kind of how I found my purpose. One thing I was thinking about trying to share with you all there and play for you, but I can't get it to sync up to the speaker, is a speech by Fannie Lou Hamer. And so I'm not sure how many of you know who Fannie Lou Hamer was. She was one from Ruralville, Mississippi. And she was a woman who was, at the age of 13, knew that her purpose was to be better by her people in her community. At 13. And she also knew that in order to do that, she wanted to go into politics. But not politics as a senator or a representative or anything like that. She wanted to be in the politics where people were. So what she did when she was older, she signed up 60,000 people in Mississippi to vote in the 1960s. This was also at the height of time when people were being lynched, people were being killed if they even went to register to vote. And somehow, Ms. Fannie Lou Hamer got 60,000 of them to register and to vote. She's most famous for saying, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. So a lot of folks will know that comment. That's Ms. Fannie Lou Hamer. She made that comment in 1968 at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. A convention where she held the attention so well that the President of the United States, Lyndon Johnson, decided to hold a little press conference right in the middle of her speech, so all the news stations would turn away from her. But Ms. Fannie Lou Hamer kept going. She did her whole speech, and it was recorded. And all the news station goes, oh, she was really good. They played her whole speech after the president got done with his little fireside chat. So Ms. Fannie Lou Hamer was like, I'm not going to do my people that way. In the 60s, what she was fighting against was the poverty of her people in Mississippi. Most families at that time lived off $500 a year. Wow. So they were starving. And she's like, So again, she went to work. She started going around the country, delivering speeches and getting paid. And Miss Fannie Lou Hamer bought herself 40 acres. And she was like, all right, we're going to farm over here and get ourselves some food that we know where it comes from, we know it's good for our bodies, and the souls and minds. And then she said, that ain't enough. I need 40 more acres. So Mr. Harry Belafonte stepped up, gave her some more money, buy another 40 acres. And still, she's like, it's still not enough. She ended up buying 680 acres of land in Mississippi and doing the Freedom Farm, developing a Freedom Farm. That pig. When all the piglets were born, you got to keep most of the piglets to do what you wanted to do for economics for your family. You had to return the mother pig and one more piglet. That was economic property. They did that. She did that. That is understanding your purpose and following through with it. Now the sad part is, Miss Fannie Hamer wore herself out. And she passed at 59 years old. And nobody else could step up and take her place because nobody else had been trained and nobody else watched and did the things that she did. So understanding our purpose and understanding how to carry it out. And if you don't know how to carry it out, you got a collective of people around you that can help you. So my principal is Nia and Amari Gunn.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a little kid on the West Coast. A lot of my family members were in direct dealing with the Panthers and the US organization. So seeing how far this has come is really a joy to my heart. I've been taught about the Nguzi Saba since I was a child. With the Urban Warrior Program with the Han Blevins in San Diego, and being taught by Kasumu Harley, which is a group of brothers and sisters from the West Coast that went to Howard University and came up with the African Student Union. Came back to Bell University and kind of let us 7th and 8th graders know about ourselves and putting that inside of our hearts. I want to deal with Kaumba. Now, Kaumba is creativity, but it's much, much, much more than creativity. When we're growing up and we're translating music when we first started to hear it as a little child, we're moving around, We're doing all of these things that are very brilliant and creative. Dancing, singing, rhyming, doing poetry, DJing, fashion, the many different things that we have going on in our community. Creativity is a part, I feel, is a part of our lineage. Whether that's us being creative on how we take care of ourselves, we not know how to pay the bills, when we creatively figure that out. Creatively keeping ourselves out of trouble. Right? Knowing how to entertain ourselves. Now, creativity is much more than that too. It has different cultural aspects. Creating a business is a part of Kalumba. Us coming and fellowshipping together right now, this is a part of the Kalumba. This is a part we're actually doing all of the 7 principles right now as we come together with each other. There's many different things that I could say about Kalumba, but one of the most important ones I want to say is your breath and your ability to get up every morning. That is rooted in our core, and it's creative. That the way that we really endure through tragedy, through pain, we endure through many different things. And Kalumba is another way of telling us that we are gifted and we're anointed and we're special people. I had the honor of being a part of this thing called the Kalumba Fest in San Diego, where every Black History Month we'd have this weekend where we'd all come together, all the kids do all their performance. We have Apollo style, boo you if you're not good, and stuff like that. But those things always reminded me of when my grandmother would come to visit and we'd all line up and show her our talent, or whatever talent that we had. And I see that on the daily. I see us creating new different businesses and having different models inside of our minds and coming together more. And I really love this community, the Twin Cities, and it's very strong, you know? There's other communities that have larger populations of us there that still won't buck up. Right? And I'm telling you, a lot of brothers and sisters on the West Coast is really proud of what we're doing out here. And that's my presentation. I did have some music to play for you guys to show you the Kalumba creativity through some music that I had. But I'll just tell you, I did a project with I Self Divine. It was called, what is the album called? It's called Rituals of Resilience. And we had a complete, it was an audio-visual event that we had at the MIA. We had Devil Roberts, was a lot of great artists from across the diaspora was there. It's just really meaningful, hardcore work that he's doing, I Self Divine. I give definitely props to that brother because he's using his skill and his creativity to teach us something. And thank you very much. I know I always remember this. Did great.
Kalumba.
Okay, so many people, when they think of Imani and they think of faith, they think about their personal faith, their personal values, and usually religion. In this case, I want us to think about Imani or faith in a more global sense. Belief in oneself, belief in one's people, belief in one's community. I want us to think about how we believe about ourselves. Often, when I was growing up, people would use the phrase, the white man's ISIS holder. And to me, what does that say about how we believe about ourselves as Black people? That we don't have faith in each other, that we don't have faith in ourselves. So this particular principle is very close to my heart. I think about how we think of ourselves, but also how we think of our brothers and sisters and how we think of our communities. And I really want us to lean into this principle in that way. So as I was thinking about how to express this principle to you today in a way that was meaningful, I thought about The Wiz. Right now, The Wiz is playing in our Twin Cities area, and I think it just ended. But I thought about the fact that in The Wiz, I don't know, a lot of times we're entertained by the story and the characters, and we don't think about the message of The Wiz. The Wiz is about a young lady named Dorothy, who actually, it's a dream. It's not even a real journey. She's dreaming. And in that dream, Dorothy thinks of herself, but she thinks of herself in a way where she really doesn't believe in her possibilities. She doesn't know what's coming to her future. And she's living with her Auntie M, and she doesn't know what she's going to do with her life. She meets up with 3 or 4 other characters, if we include The Wiz. One who doesn't believe he has a brain, the Scarecrow. One who doesn't believe he has a heart, the Tin Man. And one who believes he has no courage, the Lion. And they are all journeying to this one person who is going to give them enough faith in themselves to move on with their journey. The Wiz, who is simply an ordinary man who has no idea how he ended up in that spot. Right? So we're listening to all these other people about who we are.
Yeah.
People who are going to tell us to believe in ourselves. Along the way, Dorothy also has a fairy godmother. And in the end of that story, her fairy godmother tells her everything you needed was already in you. So I'm here to say everything we need is already here. It's already inside of us. It's already in our communities. We have gifts. We have talents. And all of these principles have brought that home for us. I'm going to give us 2 examples of how we do what I call keep the faith. Right? So when your back is up against the wall, what do? You keep the faith. When you don't know what to do, what do?
You keep the faith.
We keep on going. So I want to remind us what helps us to stay on track and to believe in ourselves. Daily affirmations. You are awesome. You can do it. We rule the world. Whatever it is for you, have a daily affirmation. The second one I'm going to borrow from Dr. Verna Price. She wrote a book called The Power of People. And in that book, she talks about adders, subtractors, dividers, and multipliers. I encourage each of you to find a multiplier. A multiplier is somebody who believes in you when you have no idea what you're going to do. They push you beyond your wildest dream to accomplish things that you never think you can accomplish. I have 2 multipliers in my life. And every time I say, oh, I don't know about that. I don't think I can do it. Oh, yes you can. Yes you can. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. I've seen you do this. I've seen you do that. Find yourself a multiplier. Somebody who pushes you beyond your dreams and sometimes carries them for you until you're ready. So I leave you with a message from The Wiz, the one that Dorothy's godmother gave her at the end of that movie, where she said, everything you had was already in you. And this is the way she said it. If you believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you can say it's yours. Believe that you can go home. Believe you can float on air. Then click your heels 3 times. If you believe, then you'll be there. Believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic that's inside your heart. That you have a brain and you have a heart. Believe all these things, not because I told you to, but believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, just believe in yourself like I believe in you.
All right, everybody, we don't want to keep everybody too much longer, so we're gonna close out with a few deep breaths. If there's any, just real quick, let's take like 30 seconds, just talk with the person next to you about something that you liked, or if there's any questions, comments, or concerns that you might have for this event or for the building, or anything you might want to see. Miss Shayla, when she left, she was telling us that we need to make this like a monthly or a weekly program. So let's just talk for like a minute. I'll come back with you, and then we'll talk about what we discussed.